So, today we are doing something epic today. We are going to be talking about taking the ACT and the SAT. Just in case you're too young to know what these tests are, or in other circumstances don't understand it, the ACT and SAT test are the worst things every high schooler has to go through. All the colleges that you're wanting to go to will only admit you if you meet all the requirements of having this so-and-so score on the ACT and having this so-and-so GPA. When I took the ACT for the first time, it sucked. It was the summer after my sophomore year, and I was taking it at another high school. I thought I was going to do all right, even though I didn't study a single minute for the test. I didn't finish a single section on that test. The ACT has 75 questions in 45 minutes for English, 40 questions for grammar in 35 minutes, 60 questions for math in 60 minutes, and 40 questions in science for 35 minutes. That would mean you would have 36 seconds to answer one question in the English portion, 52 seconds to answer one question in both the science and grammar portion, and 60 seconds to answer one question for the math portion. I'm the type of person who's literally the last to finish any test. In other words, I'm extremely slow. One thing that sucked even more than taking the ACT were the lights in the classrooms at the other high school. They were motion controlled, so every now and then, the lights would turn off and on again because literally everybody is sitting down, including the teacher, either sleeping or focusing on their test. When the lights did turn off while we took the blasted test, every student taking it would wave violently with their arms in the air trying to turn the lights back on. That was taking the ACT for me, in my experience. One thing I hated most about taking the ACT or the SAT is when the teacher pops up out of her chair to either write on the board silently or scare the living heck out of us. There's 5 minutes remaining! You are either the student that freaks out and answers all the last 20 questions bubble C, or you're smart and you got one more passage to read and answer the last of the questions. I envied those people. I was extremely pressured by my family to do well on these tests. I was trying hard to get into the school my family went to, but I had a lot of trouble with this test. I took the ACT for 6 months, and I kept getting horrible scores. I studied as much as I could for the ACT, go through as many practice questions and test strategies as I could, just trying to improve my score on the test. I was trying to get into the college of my dreams, and I kept failing the requirements to get in. Over and over again. I couldn't complete the test like I wanted to. I wasn't studying the right way, I guess. But one thing I do know is that whenever you fail, your confidence and your heart starts to break. Think about doing that for a year, just constantly failing. Every time I retook the ACT test, it felt like there was no way I could even meet the requirements, like I was too stupid to do well. I questioned myself a lot. Am I stupid? I did well in school, but I did awful on the ACT. The sad thing about it was, I wasn't improving. I was doing the exact same, which is insanity. Some tests I would actually do worse on. After 6 months of repeat failure taking the ACT, I switched to taking the SAT test. These tests were a lot easier for me. There was more time on each section of the test, and I felt like I could do well on it. In a way, I was right. I did improve at taking the SAT. Or the stupid assessment test. Or what my tennis coach calls it, the stupid test. Compared to the ACT, I was able to complete all sections of the test. Point is, I did do better taking the SAT, and I was getting closer to reach my goal. I never reached that goal though. All that time wasted studying, all that time wasted prepping for the test, I could have used that time doing something more important like playing Smash Bros. On my Wii U and dealing with 4 Glory Bayonettas. But in all seriousness, I gave up a lot of things I enjoyed. I was so invested into the guitar. I love that instrument. I gave it up to take these tests. I still play the guitar, but have trouble focusing on it, and it's sad that I don't enjoy it as much as I used to. I remember I would literally play the guitar till I was dead tired at night and would fall asleep right next to it. In a way. It was a lot like Kosei Arima with his piano. If you haven't seen that show, Your Lie in April, I highly recommend it. It's on Netflix. I remember one time I took the SAT test and I thought I did so much better than I actually did. I felt so much peace after taking it. I thought I was done taking it. I thought I finally reached my goal. I was so happy. I thought the test was so easy and I felt relief. I was done with it and I was finally happy. Thinking to myself, it's finally over. It took forever to get the results back. And when I did, I failed again. I failed again at my goal and I got a low score. This was the second to last time I took the test. I never felt so awful in my life at that point. I couldn't take it anymore. I wanted to give up. I was so tired of failing and doing the same junk over and over again. I was tired of people doing so much better than I did and not even studying for the test or prepping for it. I envy those people. It honestly takes a lot of skill to do that, in my opinion. My older sister was one of them. She took the ACT and got a high score. So high, in fact, the school of my dreams called her and asked her if she would be attending their school. I couldn't look at the study books anymore. Made me want to burn those books, or toss them over the neighbor's wall when I saw them. I wanted to get into that school because of her, and my brother, and my dad, and my family. The last time I took the SAT, I was kind of forced into it. I was done taking those tests. I was finally happy and at peace, and I thought I was never going to get into that school because of the low score I had. I felt more happier than I've been for a long time. I was finally doing the things I enjoyed and finally relaxing for once. But then my older brother came home from college, and my brother was having a similar situation to me. His situation was definitely more important and was definitely harder than mine. He was trying to get into medical school. He studied his butt off on the MCAT test, which is a test more gruesome than anything. This test is to help determine your scores in the medical schools you can apply to. He applied to several schools and got rejected. I remember him telling me that I was giving up and how I wasn't going to get into the university for giving up. My older brother is trying to tell me one more time, and he believed with all of his heart that if I tried one more time, I'd get in, and God would let me in. I was finally at peace with these stupid tests. I've been taking it for a year, and I'm done with it. I still agreed to my brother that I was going to retake it, and I studied one last time, and I took the stupid assessment test. I didn't do well on it, obviously, but I did my best. The score I got back wasn't bad, but they were to me, because I made too high of a goal for myself. Jaiden Animations actually explains this really well in her video, being the best or worst ever. She says this in her video: "There's also this one complication where some people start having unrealistic expectations and an unhealthy mindset. And when they disappoint themselves after their inevitable failure to reach their unrealistic goal, it cuts them so deeply that it impacts their self-worth right to the core of their being. This was 100% me in the circumstance. I was improving. I was studying better. I wasn't failing, but to me in my own eyes, it was not enough. I know for a fact that many people could care less about these tests, or even had a problem with it like I did. Maybe I'm a fool for thinking this way, but I do know that everyone has had a similar experience in some way. When you give your all into something, it doesn't matter what it is, and you fail at it, it hurts. I don't want people feeling afraid to take these tests or be afraid to try anything or to fail at anything. I want people to do their best at everything they do. You've got to try if you want something, or you'll regret it. I learned so much about taking these tests. I learned to be happy after failing all those times. It made me realize that I need to give my all, even if I go down in flames. That as long as I do my best, I can be happy about that. I can be happy about myself. Maybe I'll make a part 2 of this. Depends if the story is relevant to people or not. If not, I'll do something else. Alright. Signing off.